Go to here. Open it right up. Say, all right, let's get going here. I'm gonna do a little cap job up in Haliburton, Ontario. I just want to show you guys how I do things, maybe some approaches that may help you. And but if I'm doing something wrong, make sure drop it down in the comments, as I'm sure you will. As I'm always open to learning new ways. So, okay, so I got my step off measurement. I'm gonna drop in an allowance for a return going up the wall. I'm deciding whether to make it 4 or 3 inches here, and I am going to go with 3 inches. Oh, look at that. All right, I got a 3-inch mark. Go ahead and grab my square, drop it on top, and then just put my line in. Nice square line. Okay, so I'm just trying to get an eyeball on what the situation looks like over at this corner here. It's a spray foamed wall, so what there might be is some of this high density spray foam build up in the corner. They get a little sloppy, as all you guys know. It just guess it's hard to control that spray sometimes. But anyways, so this buildup of spray foam right here, I'm gonna have to get that out of the way. I'm just gonna just get it out of the way with my thumb. Try and I'm just making room for a return I'm gonna put on the face of the metal. But yeah, it's always good to clear away things so you have a nice easy path for the metal to slide into. And drop in a square line on the face, right in line with my 3-inch mark there. Okay, that step off measurement that I got before, I'm going to lay it in here. This is an interesting way of how to mark something, especially when you're working by yourself. I put my measurement on the line, and then I go ahead and mark the tooth end of my tape. Little hack if you're working by yourself, if you want that long measurement. It's deadly accurate and it's fast. So, little trick I picked up along the way. All right, so now that we have that in, I'm just gonna draw that taper line. That, if you notice that there's a bit of fall on this deck, obviously there has to be, because the water on this flat roof is draining off this edge. They're gonna be installing gutter along here eventually, but we do have water falling in this direction. So I just want to show you right here in this corner. It's basically tapered to from nothing, or it looks about 3/4 of an inch, all the way down to this corner, which was around 4 inches, I believe, when I measured it. So it's an EPDM rubber roof, and as you well know, if you try and install metal on an EPDM rubber roof, you have there's a lot of potential for rips and tears. So what you have to do is give the metal a soft edge in case it comes in contact with the EPDM rubber. So what I'm doing here is I'm laying in the taper line so the back edge of my cap follows along the roof line. And I'm gonna put a hemmed edge along that line, so when I do install it, that hemmed edge is actually going to sit on the rubber for a nice clean install, but then you don't have a sharp sheet metal piece digging into that EPDM rubber. A lot of flat roofing companies will try and ding you for that. If like they'll make you fix it, or if it does leak, they'll try and come after you for it. So just make sure all your edges are hemmed, and especially if you're working on EPDM, it's a very temperamental material. It's a single layer membrane, so Oh, that's a beauty. That's the money shot right there. Look at that. Whoa. Okay, so I'm just going along the entire piece. Maybe we can speed this up a little bit. You can see I'm just cutting, leaving 1/2 inch beyond that line. And this is going to set me up nicely to turn over a 1/2 inch hem. So we'll just speed this up a little bit more. Get that cut right off. Wish I could speed it up in real life. That would be nice. Okay, so let's play. Now here I'm notching where my 3-inch flange is gonna return up the wall, and I'm gonna leave this piece on and hem that around as well, just for a nice clean install. Okay, and then, you know, one of the main reasons for coping metal, actually, a little fun fact, is it's mainly there to keep the membranes from peeling back from the edge over time. It adds some aesthetic, nice clean lines to the edge, and it's kind of you get 2 birds with 1 stone in a way, and so yeah, it looks good, and it actually has a function as well. It keeps those membranes from peeling back. Okay, so in order to get a proper hem, I needed to steal some material from this drip edge hem. So I'm unbending the drip edge hem in order to steal some material and have that hem run all the way through, even through the drip edge. So let's just speed this up a little bit here. Okay, well, that's a little bit too much. Okay, so it's just, you know, like, oops, damn it. Pause. Let's go back a bit. Okay, so you see I'm unbending it because as you can see on that chalk line, I ran out of material to be able to turn around. So in order to actually turn it around, to turn an actual hem around on that chalk line continuously through, I had to unbend the hem of the drip edge, and then you can see what I'm doing here. I'm stealing the material in order to do that. Okay, so where I cut it was where that chalk line crossed over the front edge of that drip edge. That's where I notched it, and now I'm going to continue to cut. So this line up here, over here, I'm going to cut that one all the way down now. Watch all those little shards, especially on that EPDM rubber roof. Okay. Start turning
this over on that chuck line.
Yeah, so I got this pair of folders out.
You probably guessed why we're hemming this.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Because it's EPDM.
Me? Interrupt me?
Rubber.
Huh?
If you put raw edge against
Yeah.
rubber, it's gonna cut right through it.
I know, I already said that.
So, I'll take my my 1-inch folders here and crease this line all the way down.
Yeah, the reason why I'm using those 1-inch folders is,
Just start the hem.
yeah, it actually allows, it gives a nice crisp edge to start the bend, and I do that all the way along.
Especially with EPDM rubber, you want to keep it clean.
Okay, so you know what I can do?
You want to.
We'll let him talk. Let him keep going. We don't really. Okay, he seems to be a little delirious, so we're just gonna fast forward it. But anyways, this I'm gonna crease it along that line first, and with these 1-inch folders, they're nice. They're nice to do with. I find is to give it that nice first crispy starting bend. Oops.
Right.
So now that we have it started, we can start bringing it all the way around.
Brake line in there.
Yeah, put that brake line in there, and now that metal will bend.
Turning it right around.
Now that metal will bend on that line. All the way to nothing there. It turns out really nice. Nice and clean.
What do you guys think of doing a live version of this?
Yeah. Why not? I just don't have the...
My equipment doesn't really allow me to right now.
Yeah, neither does mine.
I'd like to have a first-person view of...
All right, let's just keep going here. Let's not bore the people. All right, so let's... I'm going to take my 45 benders. It just gets that bend around just enough. Just a little bit more so we can start taking it all the way around. These folders are actually really nice for that.
There's the nothing.
Right
here.
Okay, yeah, we already went over that. Thanks. All right, we're just gonna fast forward through this. Okay, yeah, let's slow it down here. Yeah, I'm just taking these folders are nice because the jaw opens up so wide, and you can do things like that. And when you're maintaining the quality and increasing the speed, it's always good. Always good. Okay.
And it'll go. And all I'm gonna do is get this. Get this bent over. And then I'll crush it after.
Okay, just gonna bring that all the way around. I take the hammer to it, and then it gets it to that point where now you can bring your folders in and just start crushing it.
We're just
rotate the piece, make it easier to work on. You find your own groove, but the basics are here. You eventually, like I did, I found my own groove. What I'm most comfortable with.
You have to kill it. Just get it dressed over. I'm just going. Eventually it's just going to want to sit flat.
I think next time I'm going to put the GoPro on my head. This angle is it's not working for me right now. And you guys probably want to see what I'm doing, hence the reason of the video, but
Squeezed over.
you know, work in progress, like anything. Okay, so forgot to notch that front end. Have my 90-degree mark in.
We're going to turn
so right now I'm gonna work on, I have that, remember I laid in that square line here before. I'm gonna notch in along this line, and then I'm gonna cut back for a smaller flap because we don't need all this excess material getting wrapped around. So I will cut some of it back, and then it'll fit in a little nicer. Just, you know, having all this extra material is just not necessary. So we'll
there.
notch it in. Notch my drip edge. Let me just get the old hand bender in there. Not a problem. Just a nice, nice crisp edge. 26 gauge too. Gotta love that 26 gauge. Okay, yeah, here we go. And that's what I was talking about, removing that little piece. Like all that excess material is just not necessary, especially since the siding guys are going to come in and cover up most of it anyways. So now that it gets dropped in, it'll just drop in. There's no hindrance because of all that excess material. It just drops right in. So let's fast forward up here a little bit. What happened here was my square line against the wall, it technically wasn't square. So, well, anyways, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to rewind this. So let me just show you what I mean. So this is a square line right here. This is a square line right here. And this was not quite square. So what I did, all I did was take my hammer and just dolly in this back corner, and then everything fit in rather nice. Maybe in the future I would have maybe just angled this a little bit, but you know, sometimes if it's not necessary and it just takes a little dollying in, it's okay. You can proceed. All right, let's just fast forward through my money shot. And oh, there we go. Yeah, hold on, let's go back a bit. Yeah, see, I'm dollying in this back corner there. It sucks in the metal a little bit, and then it fits in much better. See, there we go. Fits in, no problem. And we can go down to the other end. That's all locked in nicely. I'll throw a screw in it just to make sure it's all it's where I want it, and it'll stay there while I secure the other end. So it's just a little tag screw that I just getting in there, make sure it stays. And that screw will eventually get covered by siding as well. So I keep it. Here, let me go back a bit. So in this scenario right here, where you're turning up a wall, water is gonna find its way down this wall. You want to keep this screw up high. You don't want to get it down too low. You'll risk leaking because you are piercing the membrane with this screw. You do want to keep it up as high as possible. And then also that 3-inch flange that I put in there also allows me to do that as well, getting that screw up higher. So, okay, we're going to go to the other end and secure our S-lock. S-lock's very standard way of connecting coping flashing. It's used all over. Ever since I've been doing coping, it's a good way to connect them. Some guys use standing seams. That's to connect them, to each their own. But I have had no problems with it with an S-lock. So we're jumping right into it. We're gonna do our finishing piece now. I'm gonna cut it to length. Squaring it off. You see, I got some scratches on this piece, so I'm just cutting that off. And we'll fast forward a little bit. See, I'm just cutting it right off. I got a lot of extra material here, so I can spare some. In the name of quality, we can spare a little. So I'll just finish this cut here. That piece will just be garbage because it's just scratched anyways. Let's just go back there. One thing I wanted to show you. So this notch you see right here that I just cut off. That's the intention behind that is so it makes it easier to slide into the next piece. So that angled piece kind of draws that drip edge in. So if you're not doing that, it's good practice. It'll definitely speed things up and give it it'll actually clean up the work a little bit too. Makes it fit together nicer. Okay, and then I have a flat head. It's actually, oh geez, why do I keep doing that? What it is, it's a plastic car. One of those covers, the plastic fasteners that you find on an interior of a car. This is actually meant for that, but it's actually good for opening these up too, I find. So nice to have in the toolkit there. So I pried open the drip edge of the previous piece so I can just slide this one in. So I tilt up the piece as well. I tilt it on an angle, and it helps guide it in a little. So you can work on getting the top in, and then working your way down the lock and getting it in. I'll do a video on that later. I didn't really show it that well here, so it's something that I would have to really do a close up on for you to see. But tilting it up. Maybe if you have a little bit of experience, you get where I'm coming from. So right now, I'm just seeing where the other flashings line up, getting an idea of how it's going to look, kind of planning out my what I'm going to do with my flaps and so on. So I'm just making my marks and eventually going to make my cuts. Okay, get my square line, drop those in, and all of these lines are lined up with this front edge. Aesthetically, when things line up, clients are a lot happier. You know, nothing really jumps out at the eye. Always good to keep that in mind. Part of it is, you know, we do have, I mean, it is architectural sheet metal. Part of that is art, and it has to look good as well as function. So the last thing you need is the client looking up and scratching their head going, well, why does it look like that? It's like the worst words you want to hear, you know. And if you just do it so it looks like things line up. When things line up, it's really, you can't really go wrong with that. All right, so I grabbed a measurement off the face. I measured across the same measurement of the face, and I'm gonna just what I'm doing here is I'm gonna do a turn down box end. So if you follow these steps, you'll see what I'm talking about. I'm closing off the end of the cap is what I'm doing. Closing it off, I mean, for water mainly, and aesthetics as well. So it just cleans everything right up. Here's the measurement for the back. That's important. Get as many notches in and as much prep as you can as possible. You see, when I notch things, I kind of do a small angle on them. Good habit to get into. It'll keep things from binding up. Yeah, is that small angle I'm putting on it, you see there? So I've freed up the excess piece. I'll just get that out of the way and get my my cornered notches in here. That's going to be a 90-degree finished flap on the front corner. And then, yeah, just cutting all the excess away that just doesn't need to be there. Those little pieces that you cut out, those little notch, make sure you are aware of where they fall. Especially on EPDM, but for any flat roof for that matter, it's just good to stay clean on these roofs. They're very temperamental when it comes to small little tiny pieces of sharp sheet metal. And I'll tell you, if the flat roofing contractor you're working for finds any of those, they will make a very big deal out of it. Oops. All right. Just gonna fast forward a bit here. I'll show you what we've got so far. So I've turned down a box end, and you can see right down here. Right here, the flap has turned in behind the face of the metal for a nice clean edge. Speed this up, there we go. All right, so I have that back edge turned down. This flap is now going to get bent over. I'm going to shrink it a little bit so it looks a little nicer. So yeah, I'm going to bend it over first. Give it a little crease first, and then I'm going to start shrinking it down. Then I'll peen it over for a nice clean look. Okay, just grab my my recoilless hammer here. Best hammer I've ever bought in my entire life. Doesn't leave any scratches on the metal when you hit it, and it's recoilless, so it sends all of the energy into the piece. It's like a dead blow. It's got that loose sand inside there. So, but yeah, I'll leave links in the description so you guys know where to pick these up. All right, tipping that piece to get that started much easier. See, as I lower it down, I get my drip edge in. And yep, and then that's just a finished piece. We have the end blocked off. Thanks for tuning in, and if you have any comments, be sure to leave them down below. Peace out.